Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about the eBay buyer's money back guarantee. Unlike other videos I've done on this, and probably a lot of videos out there, this video isn't just from a seller's perspective saying how bad it is for sellers. This is actually from my own personal experience buying something on eBay, so I'm going to share a story with you. Do let me know down below if you've had a similar story or what you think about the situation. I know this eBay money back guarantee issue is quite important and stirs up quite a lot of interesting emotions with you guys, and I'll be interested to hear your opinions. So anyway, about 6 months ago, I bought 2 Creo Star Trek Lego sets from eBay for about £50. It was quite good value. Brand new, you can pay as much as £200 for those sets, so possibly it was too good to be true. The listing was pretty straightforward, bit lazy to be honest, as a lot of eBay listings are. A handful of pictures of the items which showed the sets, which looked alright, and in the description basically saying this listing is for these 2 sets sold as seen. And I thought, okay, well, I can see the sets, must be alright, so I bought them. A few days later, they arrived in a box wrapped in old newspaper. They smelt a bit musty, to be honest. It wasn't a brilliant thing. But the kind of biggest surprise for me was when I opened up the box and found that the sets were actually not taken apart, which for a toy that you're supposed to build and put together yourself is really, really pointless and takes all of the fun out of it. And to be honest, I just thought it's a bit lazy of the seller. And then to make matters a lot worse, there weren't any instructions in the box either for either of the 2 sets, so there was no way to put them back together once you'd taken them apart. But anyway, I managed to find instructions online for the Enterprise set, and I emailed the seller and said, are you sure you haven't got the instructions for the Klingon set, because I can't make it without the instructions. And they said, oh, I'll have a look mate and let you know tomorrow. Anyway, they never let me know, they never got back to me, so I actually wrote to Hasbro and they were able to find and send me, albeit just printed out on a regular printer, some instructions for the Klingon set. So I was happy. I then built the model, put it together. There were 2 parts missing from the model, a missile and a sort of 2x4 red brick that you're supposed to use to support the model while you're putting it together, and then it's not even used in the finished model. So not that big a deal really. I didn't think it was worth contacting the seller at that point because, you know, the model was basically complete. So I reviewed that set and put it on my channel. A week later, I went to build the Klingon set. So I took the Klingon set apart, and with my new instructions that I got from Hasbro, I set to work to put the model together. But about halfway through the build, I realised that there were some critical components missing from the set that basically made the model completely incomplete. One of the problems is that Creo don't actually sell or send out spare parts for their old kind of building block sets anymore. And some of the parts are unique to Creo. It's not like you could just swap them with Lego parts. So basically this set was absolutely useless. And at this point, I was a bit annoyed. And to be honest, what went through my head was, I'm going to use the eBay buyer's money back guarantee that screwed me over so many times in the past. So I contacted the seller, and I first of all gave them the opportunity to sort this out themselves. I said, are you sure you haven't got the parts for this Creo set, because I can't build it? And then they sent me a message back saying, basically being very defensive and saying, no, I haven't got the parts, and you bought this sold as seen, so there's nothing I'm going to do about it. So then I sent them a reply back suggesting a £10 refund, which I thought was pretty reasonable. They declined that offer. They sent me a refund offer of £5, and I thought, well, that's not enough. Why would you haggle with me over basically a set you've sent me that's useless? So I said, well, that's no good. Are you sure you don't want to send me a £10 refund? Otherwise, and I did say this, otherwise I will open an eBay buyer's protection case, and it is highly likely that they will back me and just give me a full refund. So I got a reply back from the seller saying, no, like being really angry with me, saying there's no way I'm giving you any money, you're cheating me out of this, that and the other, I'm not even going to give you the original refund anymore. Screw you. So I opened an eBay case, item not as described case. And the sad thing is, having sold items and knowing how the eBay buyer's protection guarantee works, I knew I was sorted. I knew I was like, there was going to be no ambiguity in this case at all. eBay weren't going to look at it and say, oh, well, we're not sure. I'd been incredibly polite in my messages to the seller. They had sold me something that just didn't work, wasn't usable. And I'm afraid, I don't know what your opinion on this is, but you can't just sell an item on eBay and put sold as seen and that covers everything. It's an incomplete product. You haven't given the instructions that are necessary to use the product. I personally think a lack of information on a listing is almost as bad as putting incorrect information. Sure enough, when the case was opened, eBay actually ruled in my favour within about half an hour of me opening the case. I then had to send the item back to the seller and I got a full refund for the item. And it was sad because I knew that was going to happen. I knew I wouldn't have any trouble at all. Anyway, I just checked the account of that seller and they're no longer a registered seller on eBay. So they probably got burnt by me. They probably got burnt by quite a few people actually on eBay if they carried on dealing with people on eBay like that, because I noticed they'd sold some quite high value items. But the moral of the story here, unfortunately, is that if you are a buyer and something goes wrong with your purchase or you're slightly unhappy for a reasonable reason, because I'm not gonna say to you that you should just open a case every time you buy something to get your money back, because I don't think that is fair at all, and I think that really hurts eBay and it hurts the sellers on there. But if something goes wrong with your item or you're not happy, open a case against the seller, and unfortunately for the seller, you will get your money back. That is just the way it works. But I don't know, this is a really complicated issue actually, so let me know down below what you think. Would you have opened a case against that seller? Would you have been angry if you were the seller? Or would you just have dealt with it properly? The funny thing is, of course, if he'd just given me the £10 refund when I asked for it, we wouldn't have gone through any of this. He wouldn't have the Creo sets back. He wouldn't have lost all his money and the postage. But, some people just don't like to be told what to do, I guess, even if it is the right thing to do. Never mind. Anyway, thanks for watching. Do check out my other eBay story videos, discussion videos, and tips and tricks videos, and I'll leave a link to a playlist down below. Do subscribe if you like these sorts of videos, and I shall see you next time for another one.